Hey everybody, how's it going? All right, we are in the middle of the Edmonton Expo. It is Saturday, September the 16th right now. I actually missed the show yesterday. Very long story, mostly thanks to DHL. So I just want to show you what's inside of here and tell you sort of the scoop of what's going on and what is in store for today. So let's get into it. Okay, so what happened yesterday was a bit of an ordeal. So I did end up missing the expo on Friday. I was planning on going probably for a couple hours between, say, 6 and 9. The show was from 4 to 9 yesterday, and I did have access as early as 2, but I had to pick up the wife from work and stuff, so it wasn't going to work, as well as pick up my car from the shop that's been there all week. Anyway, so some things got in the way, but on Thursday, I actually got a notice from DHL that a package was coming, and I knew it was my Scream VI robe, so I knew right then and there that I would have the opportunity to bring it to the expo. So awesome. So I noticed on Thursday there was a notice saying that somehow the address was wrong and it was undeliverable. And I thought, that's weird, because I reviewed the address with the fellow who made this for me ahead of time to make sure, and I was pretty confident it was right. So of course I had to get in touch with DHL. I ended up calling them and finally getting a hold of somebody, and sure enough, we confirmed the address is correct. Although it was a little scrambled on one of the bills, like they had, you know, I think St. Albert was after Alberta or something, but I mean, anyone with a brain, especially somebody who's a courier, would certainly be able to tell what the address is. It was really, really obvious in my opinion. So once I confirmed the address was correct, the DHL rep said, okay, we're going to try to get them to reattempt today, as in Thursday, and if not, we'll definitely get it to you for Friday. And I thought, okay, fair enough. I'll do something different Friday anyway, and maybe I'll do the Ghostface on Saturday, maybe Sunday. Either way, I wasn't too worried about it. So Friday comes around, and you know, I wasn't worried about it. I spoke to somebody, everything was cool. So I checked it again probably around 3 in the afternoon, and I noticed it said it's on hold. And I'm like, what? It's on hold? So I'm like, this isn't right. So I call them again thinking this must just be like an oversight. Like, surely it's coming today, like they said. And I get a different rep on the phone who was totally not helpful, who just kept kind of talking over me. But she just basically said that, oh, it hasn't been dispatched today and it's on hold for some reason. She couldn't even explain why. And then she just started telling me, talking over me, saying, yeah, it'll be delivered Monday. And I'm like, yeah, dude, Monday is no good. It's for an expo that's happening this weekend, and I was told it was coming Thursday. So what are you talking about? So after a big screw around and me calling them for a third time and just saying, where can I pick it up? Because I was like, there's no way I'm going to wait till Monday. This is stupid, especially when it's been in town since Thursday. So I just said, where can I pick it up? Let's make arrangements for it. And I had to drive to the fucking airport to pick it up, which is a good 40-minute drive for me. And yesterday being, you know, a little bit tight for time, because like I said, I was picking up the wife from work and I had to pick up my Jeep from the shop. Plus I come home and get dinner for the kids and everything, get everything going. I wouldn't be able to get out of here before like maybe 6:30. So I was really only expecting to have, you know, an hour or two at the convention in the evening. But of course, now that I have to drive all the way to the airport to get this package, it pretty much ruined any chance of making the expo for yesterday. So the plans changed, and I drove all the way out there to pick this thing up, and I want to show you today what is inside of here. And it's funny, they have a handwritten note on here. This is the correct address. So that was after the first phone call where they said, oh no, this is right. But don't dispatch it. Let it sit here for another whole fucking day. And then we'll get it out on Monday. Like, ugh. Yeah, needless to say, I was a little pissed off over that. So I do have it now. I am going to open it for you guys. Since I didn't have time to go to the expo yesterday and I was way on that side of town, I decided to check out Spear and Halloween's largest store in Canada, according to the fellow I spoke with. And I had a quick look around in there, and it really wasn't any bigger than the other ones. The I remember seeing. Not really. Nothing was noticeably like, oh, it's way bigger. It kind of looked the same. He had mentioned it was in an old furniture store and they had rooms with, you know, like showcase rooms, and there was none of those set up either. It looked like half of the store was just blocked off behind for staff where they kept, you know, inventory or whatever. Maybe he's talking about back there, but customers can't go back there anyway, and otherwise it just looked like a standard spirit store. So cool. And I did pick up a few things, and I'm going to show you in a different video when I have more time. But for now, I want to get this thing open and have a look at how this Scream VI robe looks. So let's get it open and let's take a look at it. Oh, look at that. It's in a nice little protective bag with Canada on the front. How about that? That's pretty cool. So this robe is by a fellow that goes by the name of Evie. His profile on Instagram is Evie_Sinister. It's spelt a little different. I'll show you here. But I found him on Instagram. Pretty talented dude. Does some great work. And I noticed his Scream VI robe prototype on someone else, and I was impressed. I thought it looked pretty darn accurate. And he showed me a lot of the references he uses to keep them accurate, and I was really interested. He had a really reasonable price as well, and he still had a spot open in time to get it to me, which, you know, with a little extra work, we were able to pull that off. So definitely excited to take a look at this. All right, so the bag is off, and already I can see it has a nice shimmer on it. It has sort of the spray glitter, which is what was used for Scream V and VI. Whoa. Awesome. Material feels good. Here is the hood. Oh yeah, it's got a few wrinkles on it, I suppose. And there we have it. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I know it is supposed to be a kind of a big robe, like bigger than the 96 robe. Very cool. All right, let me hang this up so we can get some better looks at it. All right, so here's a quick look at it hanging up, and already you can see the difference from the 96 robe that uses the lurex, like so, and this one is just fabric with the spray on it. I'm gonna have to source some gloves. As you can see, the streamers, now with Scream VI, they decided to use 6 per sleeve. They double them up like this, where they have the regular fabric here, and then they have this sheer fabric that's see-through in behind it. Now they did that, I guess, to represent the 6 movies, according to the information that I've got. See here, very cool. It looks really, really good. I'm gonna have to try it on and see how it looks all put together. Definitely a lot wider than the 96 robe. Also, it has the snaps here, just like from the movie, the same kind of snap enclosure, and it comes all the way down pretty much to the middle. Let's get a look at the back. So there's the hood. It's pretty oversized and nice. Does need to be ironed a little. There are some creases there, so I can definitely do that. Yeah, it looks good, and the sparkle is definitely pretty subtle. I'm sure you can see it a little bit, hopefully on the camera, how it sort of shimmers. Very different than the lurex on the 96 robe that has the gloves, you know, attached, of course. Overall, the robe looks fantastic. It does have the Velcro on the inside of the hood as well that I can attach to the mask when I get it. I do have the one in the corner on the 25th anniversary that I could use with it. Hopefully it'll look all right with that particular shroud. I don't know. Or I could also use that first one I got that is more or less on an ultra white. It doesn't look as good, but it is hand painted and looks decent. Until I get the one that looks a lot more like movie quality that I'm working on, or I'm having worked on, I should say. It's not my work. But yeah, eventually I will have that mask probably in the next few weeks, I would imagine. certainly by October anyway. But yeah, the robe overall looks really, really cool. I'll have to try it on and see what it looks like. But again, I'm gonna have to figure out something for the gloves. Now there are these loops as well. I'm assuming those go around to keep them up, so it'll keep whatever gloves you're wearing more tucked, perhaps. But I don't know what people use for gloves for these. I guess I'm gonna have to figure that part out. So yeah, let's cut to some shots of it worn, and I'll let you guys get a closer look at it. Hopefully get some shots from the convention as well. Still not exactly sure what I'm going to wear at this point. I was going to go for this, but like I said, I don't really have gloves that would work. I do have my cool driving gloves like to use, but of course they have the cutout backings and stuff that will certainly not work for Ghostface. Not for the Scream VI costume anyway. So I guess I will have to figure that out. But because we are here Saturday morning and I plan on leaving probably in the next couple of hours for the show, I don't think I'm gonna have time to try to source some gloves. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be pulling off that look today or not. Perhaps that will have to wait until Sunday now. But oh well, we will see. Anyway, we'll cut to some worn shots and stuff as well to show you guys, and go from there. Hey everybody, how's it going? Okay, I am back from Saturday. It is day 2 of the expo, and I just got back. I did end up figuring out the Ghostface 2023 Scream VI style costume. Worked out all right in the end. I actually had to do a little running around this morning to make things work because I didn't realize I didn't have gloves, of course. Didn't even occur to me, of course. But I should have known that had I done a little more research. So I had to do a little figuring out with the gloves. So what I did was I went to Home Depot and I first found a pair of these, which were just some plain black, neoprene gloves. And I thought in a pinch, I'll make those work. But hopefully they had some nice work gloves that I could use. So then I was able to find some work gloves that were mostly black. However, they had gnarly yellow stitching and they looked like this. So as you can see, they say firm grip, they have utility on them, and of course this gross yellow stitching everywhere. So I thought, well, if that's the best I can get, I better get them and get home and try to get them blacked out as soon as I possibly can. So I did that, and I wound up getting them to look like this. So not a terrible job. They do look a lot better, and they were passable. So they did the trick for the most part, even though you can still see the utility. As you can see here, you can still see the utility that's kind of reflective. It didn't matter how much black I put on them, they were still showing. But overall, they look like black gloves, pretty much. So they did the trick for the most part. Luckily, this Robe has these elastic bands built in for your wrists, so you can keep them up for the short gloves, and I didn't have any costume mishaps, so that worked out really well. But overall, the Robe was pretty nice. It's nice and light, so it's not nearly as hot or as heavy as the 96 that has the Lurex in it. So it is a little more comfortable than that. It's definitely a little puffier, a little bigger. I also had one of the snaps done up wrong. Another byproduct of being kind of on your own and not having anybody to sort of look out for you or take shots. Yeah, I had one button kind of bunched, so it was bunched a little funny. Yeah, I tried to tell my buddy that I met over there, you know, or ask him if it was bunched up. He thought it looked fine. So, however, I did notice later that yes, it was bunched up. But for the most part, it didn't look too bad. There were a fair amount of other Ghostface cosplayers there. So there was a handful of them. I got a shot with a few of them here and there. It was kind of like last year where people were coming up asking for photos, kind of like with Myers. It probably didn't happen quite as much with this outfit, but it definitely happened a lot where I get tapped on the shoulder. Oh, can I get a photo? So that was cool. I didn't give out any of my cards at all this year. I was going to do that, but it's just so hard to have them handy. With the Myers outfit, I had the coveralls and I had the coveralls and the breast pocket, so I could just pull a card out. But here I had nowhere to stash them at all. And like I said, it's impossible to pull out your phone, and it's really hard to see through the eye mesh as well. So I had a hell of a time trying to see. And like usual, before I even got inside, I was probably stressed out the most because you get there and you have to do this weird sign-in stuff all on your phone, and you need to be able to see and read. And I can't see it at all or read it through the mask, and I didn't want to take it all off and then try to get it all set again. It was such a bitch. So I tried doing it through the mask. It took forever. I had to squat down on the floor, and I'm stepping on the sleeves and everything. It's just, it really helps if you have somebody that can give you a hand at these things. So it was a little bit tough there. And when I first got there, I did have to go through prop check. So they have that sort of set up to the right just before you come in. So of course I showed them the shotgun, this sucker with the orange tip, which was fine, but once they checked it out, you had to put on a ribbon. So they tied this ribbon on, and he actually asked me where I wanted it. It's like for pictures, and I thought, well, geez, if I put it around here, I could probably hide it more, but I was too much in a hurry and not used to it and really didn't know what to say. So I was like, well, maybe put it around here so I could still cock this if I wanted to. And it was around here, and it just kind of went back and forth there. So for a lot of the pictures when I'm holding it, you can see this red you know, ribbon around it, even though it has the tip. I get it though. And then on the actual buck knife as well, they had to tie a red ribbon around that. So I had a little one tied right around the handle. It was up here originally, or there. So I just had it here, and I could hide it into my hand like that, and it looked fine. But again, I didn't get nearly as many pictures as I would have liked to because I couldn't really take them myself. So I did have my buddy snap a few shots of me, so hopefully those turn out okay. I'll definitely show you a few of those here in this quick video. But that is essentially the Saturday over there. It was a good time. Lots of cool vendors as always. And, you know, part of me wants to go see it without me in cosplay so I can really browse and see things a little better. But, you know, you have to take your opportunities when you get them. You don't really get a whole lot where you can dress up like this. And in those intro shots I was showing you that I took back here, that was actually after I came back from the show, and I didn't even remove anything. I drove all the way home like that. So I got some interesting looks. That was pretty fun. But it was a good time overall. Had a blast. Not 100% on what I'm going to do tomorrow. Thinking maybe the Freddy outfit might work, but I do worry about hopefully they don't have to put a ribbon around every you know, blade. That would really suck. Maybe just around the wrist or something like that. I'm hoping I can do that. Because again, it's not sharp, and it's got no points on it or anything. So we'll see. I may attempt to do that, or I may just take the easy route and go with you know, an H40 Michael Myers. And again, there were a few of those there, and they were pretty much all H40 Myers, the ones that I saw. Yeah. And there were a few Ghostface outfits. There were a few kids. There was one of them in the Dead by Daylight outfit that had like the buckles and everything. It looked pretty cool. I just saw him briefly and said, hey. All the other ones I was pretty much fist bumping with. There's another guy there who's a little bit shorter who had a couple of the chrome Fun World style, like this one here. These were pretty popular, so he had a couple of these he was playing with and everything too, so that was pretty cool. Nice guy, but handful of pictures, so I'm hoping to see some of those online if I get lucky. Last time I was given the card because I was hoping people would tag me, like I just said, just tag me, you know, just so I can see it. I'd love to see it because I don't get a lot of photos, right? So I did that last time, and I don't think I found any, or maybe one, and I probably gave out, I don't know, 15 or 18 cards or something last time, so it was quite a bit. Definitely got more pictures last time, but I got plenty of requests this time as well, and it did go over well, and luckily the shotgun wasn't an issue. They did let me in with this, but again, you do have to tie around one of those fluorescent ribbons, despite the red tip, so could be worse. They could just say, no, you can't have it in at all. So, oh well. Anyway, it was a good time. And like I said, I still have to figure out what I'm going to do for Sunday. But yeah, that was pretty much it for my Saturday at the Edmonton Expo. So we will see what Sunday brings, and I will be back at you for another video then. Take care. All right, guys, and I'm just going to leave you with a few shots from the red carpet to close out.